Nobody calls Han Solo a bitch.
Bring him on. I prefer a straight fight to all the sneaking around.
I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain.
Oh, come on, bro. It's the wars.
Well, the Andor season finale is here. Well, a little over a week ago, but we needed a little break. This is The Wars and More. I'm Joe. Of course, with me is my good buddy Doug. Hey, Doug, how you doing this week?
Doing pretty good, Joe. How you doing?
Feeling refreshed?
Yes, well rested.
Rested, even though... Can you really rest during a holiday?
Okay. You know, there's always the running around and stuff, but, you know, there's always the time off. Yeah.
There's a time off, you know, whatever you can do to kind of ease the load, right?
Exactly.
So we felt it was the best choice to just take a breather, enjoy the holiday, but we're back.
Right.
We're back. And we're back. Man, big news this weekend. Disney.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's like news goes right to the top.
Yeah. Disney, Bob Iger steps back. He's like, it's time for a change. Disney makes a change, and they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Reverse that. So the other Bob is out. Bob Iger's back.
Right.
What do you think of that news?
Well, I have to say, Disney as a company did really well under Bob Iger. I think they're looking to regain some of that, what would you call it? Swagger, corporate superiority, whatever, corporate dominance, you look at the laundry list of other companies that have been acquired under Iger. I mean, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, list goes on. I mean, it's Fox, and it's like, so I could see where the board is thinking Iger is going to be the right move, and he may very well be. I'm just wondering, how much longer is this guy really going to want to be working? He's 71. Might be thinking, I'll give this a year or two. You know what I'm saying?
If I remember right, they put an end date on his.
Oh, did they? I didn't
announcement. I thought it was
that.
I want to say it was 24 or 25.
Oh, okay.
Like he's not committing for the long haul here.
Right. Which is, yeah.
He's like, God damn it, I want to retire.
Exactly. Which I would only imagine that if Bob Chapek's not going to be the guy, which he's not, they would have to be bringing somebody else in to, learn from Bob Iger while he's there. When I say learn, I mean just, look, these are the right kind of moves. These are not. That sort of thing. Number one in business, make money. I guess.
Right. And maybe don't say things like, well, we'll keep raising prices if people keep paying it.
Yeah.
Bad move.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, look at like the theme parks and stuff, right? Look at how prices have just skyrocketed.
Yes. Okay. So this is going to be a little bit inside baseball. Okay.
Right.
But I think everyone will be able to relate, right? The real quick story. So, a mutual acquaintance, yours and mine, Joe, Noah, says to me today, hey, thinking about going to Disney World. I just looked at him and I go, that's dumb. And I walked away. So, I mean, that's my reaction because it's like,
hey, I was thinking about what I want to do for a vacation and decided I really hate money.
Exactly.
So I'm going to go to Disney.
Right. I mean, I don't
where I'm
know
going
how
to
else to
act
put
like
it.
I'm super, super happy by giving them a bunch of money.
Right. Now, don't get me wrong.
Yeah. Disney World is
It's
fantastic.
great. Yes, it's great. My family has been. We loved it. And I don't know how I would do it today.
No. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, you know, they do a Star Wars hotel, right? Like,
Yeah.
Star Wars theme. Like, this is going to be awesome. It's like, did you say $5,000?
Exactly.
Like, did you really just say that? Oh, and it's 2 nights.
Yeah.
Hard pass.
Exactly. I just, and I understand all that kind of stuff has got to get paid for, but you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, well, you know, it's a really immersive Star Wars experience. It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna sit right here and watch it on my Oculus.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Where it looks like I'm looking at like a 300-foot movie screen.
Absolutely. I don't know, man. Don't get me wrong. I really want to walk up to the Millennium Falcon, get that feeling of awe, you know, kind of the same way I did when I was a kid and I saw that, you know, ad in front of Star Tours. And it was like,
The half of it.
yeah,
half of
yeah,
AT-AT.
yeah. But it still was really cool.
Oh,
So,
without a doubt.
so it's like, all that stuff is awesome. But I don't know how, you know, if it's that awesome. I love it. I want to be able to do it, you know?
Well, for sure.
It's only,
I mean, I think about like the way they went about it, right? And it's like, look, I understand you have all these cast members and there's a lot of overhead in this, right?
right.
But you're sleeping in a closet,
Exactly.
right?
Yep.
On what honestly look like the most uncomfortable beds I've ever seen.
Yeah, probably so.
You know, you're basically forced to get the meal plan while you're there, right?
Yes.
I understand they want to keep it immersive and all this stuff, but like, you got to draw a line somewhere. Like, look, most of us know we're not on a starship.
Right.
You can back off the immersion a little bit,
Here's the thing,
especially
right?
when it comes to things like, you know, just eating food.
Right, exactly. if you want to give that immersive experience, right? You do it in like a ride, right? As you're walking in, you're waiting in line for the ride, you know, you have all the stuff that looks like Star Wars, you know, the stuff that they do with the rides, you know, all that is really cool. And for that time, you know, 20 minutes, an hour, however long it takes to wait in line and ride the ride, you are immersed in this whole experience. But it doesn't have to be 24/7, you know?
Right. Especially when you're going to take me to a Star Trek bridge.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And I'm sorry, I'm just going to have to say it. You're making it all immersive in Star Wars with Star Wars that most people have never heard of. So it's that's a flaw in my book.
Oh, I mean, I thought when they did Batu altogether, it's like,
Right.
okay, cool. You want to do this immersion thing, it's fine. But I think you're really missing the boat here when you could have OT, PT.
Right.
You could have all of it.
Exactly.
I mean, is story and immersion like that important over having a little bit of everything for everyone? I know we just went off on a tangent.
Big time.
Talking about Bob Iger, we're bitching about Star Wars.
Yeah, but really it goes into, you know, a lot of the moves that, you know, I guess a lot of these moves were, you know, initiated under Bob Iger's tenure, but, you know, are being executed under Bob Chapek's. And it's like, that's one thing that somebody in that position's got to be able to do, is evaluate, just, you know, stick your finger up in the air, see which way the wind's blowing, and it's like, oh, okay, we're going to do this thing, but we're going to change how we're doing this thing just a little bit here, you know?
Well, my thing is to think about the future, right? Think about the future. If you do something that, for instance, The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
You know, for instance, Ahsoka. For instance, like, how are you going to incorporate these things into Galaxy's Edge?
Right.
They don't fit the timeline.
Exactly.
They happened before.
Right.
So how do you weave these in? Like, what, you put a suit of armor on a shelf somewhere and it's like, oh, cool, look, Mando's armor.
Yeah.
Guess he's dead now.
Right. Grogu's not.
Right. You know, that's just like, it was an interesting decision and bottleneck. And Galaxy's Edge was a Bob Iger project. And
yeah,
don't get me wrong, in the short term, it was like, yes. And I hear from people who've been there. I have friends that have been there, coworkers that have been there, family members that have been there. They all tell me I need to go. It's the most amazing experience, blah, 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 blah.
right.
I'm like, yeah, cool. But at the same time, you are not as immersed in Star Wars as I am.
Right.
And while I will enjoy going and enjoying this era of Star Wars, I will still feel like something's missing. Because I love all of Star Wars.
Absolutely.
Not just part of Star Wars.
Yep. Some more than others.
Yep. And, you know, I'll probably go through the whole experience, right? Explore Batu, and then I'll finish my day by riding Star Tours 12 times.
Totally.
Because that's what I do when I go there. And you know what Star Tours has? Variety.
Yes, it does. My only issue is, you know, my family starts saying,
I'm
starting
sick.
to feeling a little woozy here. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I do too.
Sure.
I'm like wobbling through the lines at the end, like, man, I am not in any condition to go do this again.
But I'm gonna.
I'll just grab a beer before I get back in line.
Yeah. Because that'll help.
Yeah, it's counterbalance, right? Like, this is making me spin this way. That's going to make me spin the other way. I'm balanced.
Oh, perfect.
So, all right, back to Iger coming back though. Like,
yeah,
what, if any, and I know this is one of those crazy, like, hey, what do you think is going to happen kind of questions, but what, if any, impact do you see on Star Wars coming from this announcement?
I think of anything in regards to Star Wars, he may say, let's get our focus back on feature films here.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Because one of the big downfalls to Disney's profitability right now has been Disney Plus.
Yes.
I mean, what they're saying, like, they lost about, what, 1.5 billion
Yeah, exactly.
on Disney Plus.
Yep.
which I'm sure that helped the stock. But it's a ton of investment in Star Wars on Disney Plus with obviously not a whole lot of return.
Right.
I mean, I think this is why you're seeing an ad-supported version coming.
Yep, totally.
Right? Which I'm going to say Netflix does not do.
I heard that they might, though. At least I thought I did.
That's just bullshit.
Nice. So I heard that might be a thing. Don't quote me on that. Just, it might be coming for a lot of these. For me, I'm thinking.
Well, then here's the thing then. You're doing it wrong.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, if you have to put ad-supported versions on there, you're doing it wrong. Netflix has been doing this a long time. They've not been losing money. But now they are, maybe. I mean, I don't think they are yet, but their issue is now we got to make stuff for Netflix, but we got to spend, $200 million to get this show off the ground.
Right.
Well, if you don't have $200 million coming in, why the hell are you going to do that? Do stuff,
exactly.
Do feature films, launch it where you can make money off the film, and then put it on your streaming service. And then you get more money for the thing that you just put in theaters.
Right. So I got to be honest with you. I really thought that whole model they were starting to employ during COVID with, whatever, the first 30 days of a film's run on their streaming service, pay for it. I thought that was going to become a thing. Apparently not. It's I don't know how well necessarily that did for them, but I mean,
well,
it was a way to try and create some revenue.
Well, the problem is that they're charging you a price that was consistent with going and buying 4 tickets at a movie theater, right?
That is an issue, yes.
And I'm sorry, like people are like, I'd rather just go see it at the movie theater because first off, you're charging a comparable price.
Right.
While you're also cutting out the middle.
Yep.
So you're not paying a movie theater to carry your product.
Exactly.
You're not paying for the lights to be on, for the screen to be on, for that. Like I'm paying for the screen to be on.
Yep. So just trying to think, out of the box a little bit here. If you want to see it opening weekend on the streaming service, right? Maybe it's $20. Beyond opening weekend, it drops to $15. You know what I'm saying? Your patience is going to pay off for you. But if you've got to see it right away, like every Star Wars fan would do if there was a film coming out on Disney Plus, and then your repeat viewings would be cheaper. Makes sense. I mean, because we all go see Star Wars opening
per viewing, right? Like once you paid for it, you owned it. Which
sure,
is not,
sure.
And I say you owned it.
Yeah, I know.
When you buy digital products, and
you own nothing.
You own nothing. And I've had this happen with stuff like, what was the Voodoo and.
Oh, right. Yeah.
What was the other one? Like these things are gone now.
Oh, yeah.
And how many people didn't catch the deadline to transfer it to this or do that?
Right.
So you don't own these things anymore. I mean, I understand physical copies are kind of, they're kind of inconvenient, right?
I suppose. Sure. Right.
Well, when you have enough of them like I do, you got to find it.
Yeah, right.
Because before it was real easy, like alphabetical order, on a shelf. And then you realize, wow, I have too much of this stuff. So you put everything in a binder.
Gotcha.
And then even though it's alphabetical in a binder, you're still flipping pages.
Right.
So it gets, okay. It's not just a click of a button, ease like it is on a streaming service.
True.
But at the same time, you could lose these things.
Right.
Or, God forbid, Your internet goes out for a couple days, looking for something to watch. But you can't watch nothing because everything's tied to your internet connection.
Exactly. Could be a problem.
Yeah, you end up just bored because you decided to rely on this feed that comes in.
Read a book, Joe.
I do read books.
I know. But yes, I don't know. I if anything, I think that's going to be something. What's his name? Bob Iger. I think that's going to be something he tries
Bob
to get.
won.
Yeah, Bob won. Then there's the other Bob.
Yeah, the other Bob.
Yeah. I think he's going to try and get films back on track. You know, I think maybe he might try to put a stop to all this. Hey, let's announce something. And then, no, it ain't going to happen though. You know, because that, I don't care what anyone says, that hurts. You know, it's got to hurt Star Wars as a whole. Because it's almost like you're becoming the boy who cried wolf, you know. Yeah, we're going to do something. No, we're not. You know, over and over and over again.
Well, I think they're, I mean, I guess, are they though? And how much of this would be offset if they could actually release a film?
Well, that's part of it. That's what I'm saying. You know, if what you announced actually came to fruition, cool. If not, well, I'm going to just quit listening to you announce stuff because I'm tired of hearing it go away, you know?
I mean, and look at the movie offerings, right? I mean, not only has Star Wars stalled, Marvel stalled.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as like attention grabbing, like the stuff coming out now is like deep in the well, right?
Right.
It's a lot of stuff that, like, if you're a hardcore Marvel fan, you're like, yes. If you're not, you're like, I don't know who the hell those characters are. I don't care.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally.
Like, I don't care.
Yep. Yeah, give me... It's like when you go to see a band, it's like, play the song they play on the radio, you know, that sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one where everybody in the audience loses their mind. Not like when you hear like 10 people lose their mind for the deep cut, right? Like
the B-side of the third single.
Right.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, when it comes to music, I'm definitely that guy, right?
Yeah,
Like,
oh, sure. And that's exactly why I put it the way I did, because I knew you'd understand.
Yeah.
But it's kind of that way now, right?
do they still call them B-sides?
I don't know. I mean, okay.
Like, you ain't got to flip nothing over anymore.
I'm old. I've actually bought 45s. Okay, fine.
I mean, they still call them B-sides with cassettes, right? Like,
Sure.
but yeah, I guess that makes me old now. Cassettes.
Yeah. But the funny part is my kids are buying those, so cassettes,
Buying
CDs,
what?
records. So
They're buying cassettes?
yeah,
Why?
I got my kid a Walkman.
Dude, they sound so bad.
Yes. Hey, whatever. It's whatever. It's a
Oh, I
throwback
get it.
retro thing.
Get them into those vinyls. Get the right player. That stuff sounds good.
Yeah. Well, there's that too.
That's one thing. Man, we're going on tangent after tangent.
I know.
But I will say that's one thing I'm not surprised to see in Resurgence, right? Because we set it up right, man. It sounds so good.
Yeah, it can.
Pain in the ass, though.
Right.
All right, so yeah, I that makes sense. I am not shocked to hear you say the same thing I was thinking. Like see Disney Plus slow down, see features kick back up for Star Wars.
Right.
Do you think we'll see a adjustment to the pricing plan?
Of what? Disney Plus?
Disney Plus, things like that.
The theme parks?
Right, both.
Probably.
Because, I mean, there was very aggressive price increases.
Yes.
Like Disney Plus, Bob Iger, when, he was talking about Disney Plus back in the day, it was price increases slowly over time.
Right.
And then Chapek comes in and he's like, it's going to $10.99. Like, it's going to $10.99. That's our first price increase. That's slowly over time.
Right.
So, I mean, do you think Bob Iger would adjust that just to keep people invested in Disney Plus?
Well, I think yes. I think they're going to try and keep subscribers. Okay, this thing it's been an experiment that I think they've been counting on, right? And I think they truly do want it to succeed. So I think they're going to try and keep it rolling however they can, but also make it profitable, however they have to do that. And I'm no expert on that. And I'm sure somebody, namely Bob Iger, has probably got ideas on that. So
let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Would you expect to see shows like The Bad Batch end up back on Disney Channel and then to Disney Plus?
Possibly. There could be some benefit to that.
Well, yeah, I mean,
namely,
you're going to get
young audience,
young audience, but you're also going to get people like you and I who are going to want to see it right away.
Yep. So that goes right along hand in hand with what they just did for over Thanksgiving weekend. The first couple episodes of Andor, they play it on ABC.
Right.
So, and you know what that's all about. That is all about trying to draw more people into signing up for Disney Plus. Get them hooked on those first couple episodes. Okay, now I got to go see it all.
Right. Well, I guess they did that with, was it Clone Wars Season 7? Was the first episode released on Disney Channel?
Man.
And then the rest released on Disney Plus? This happened before.
You are correct. Something like this did happen before. I can't remember the details of it, though. But yeah.
I mean, I could just see more moves like that. Just one, you're going to get the ad-supported content for rolling it out on Disney Channel.
Right.
And then you're going to up subscribers for Disney Plus.
Right. Makes sense.
Which, didn't they do like the first 2 episodes of Andor?
Yes.
And I was like, man, they gave Disney Plus subscribers the first 3.
Right. That is true.
In the opening release, it was the first 3, and I don't know if that was going to drum up that much support doing the first 2, because man, you were kind of feeling like, has this got a point?
Right. But hey, they're trying to come up with ideas, clearly. You can see that about this whole situation. Trying to figure out, okay, what do we do here to make this work? So I think that right there goes along with getting Iger back to make some of his, golden moves that he made.
Yeah, I mean, it's messed up to say, but yeah, at that rate of loss that you're looking at with, the other Bob,
Yeah.
George Lucas was almost ready to like buy it back at like $1 billion.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that would almost be horrible, because then he would just say, "All right, everything it's happened since 2012 hasn't happened. Now we're back to,
Oh, and yeah, George is like, I'd have done it this way, so here's the sequel trilogy special editions.
right? Yeah, exactly. Here's episode 7, new story."
We got to call them really special editions because it's not the same movie.
Exactly. Yes. God. There was once a day when I would have said, yes, do that, please. Not now.
We're in now, right? We're committed.
Yeah, pretty much.
I can't believe I just said that.
I know. What's the matter with you? I kid.
But I think you're right. We're in now. Like,
Hey, don't blame this on me.
you said it first.
I know.
I was just agreeing with you. Like, don't blame it on me. It's like, what the hell?
Oh, that's funny.
All right. Andor?
Heck yeah, Andor.
All right. So we're talking about season 1, episode 12, the finale, Rix Road, right?
Yeah, totally.
I'm not going to lie to you right there. Like, I said Rix Road questioning, like, because I got crossed up. So one of the characters' name is Bix.
Oh, right. Yeah. See, I wasn't even really thinking that, but when you talk about Rix Road, I think this episode could have been named The Battle of Rix Road.
Massacre at Rix Road.
Right. Rix Road Uprising.
Oh, man.
What? I like it.
Nothing. I just threw about 5 more in my head. It's like, stop.
Okay. Right. Oh, nice. So, for me, I'm just going to throw this out there as like a general. This episode as a whole was satisfying for ending the first season.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Man. So our one character here, I'm going to skip to the middle a little bit.
Sure. No problem.
What's that guy? It was the security officer. Damn it.
Yeah, you just did it to me now.
It's contagious, I'm telling you.
Right.
You're like, what was his name? And it's like, well, if I was talking about him, I'd have remembered, but you just screwed it up. Cyril
Karn. Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Oh my God. So we got to the end of the first season. I'm sorry. You can write this character out.
Yeah. I mean, his whole side plot in this whole thing has amounted to not a whole lot of anything. Yeah.
No, it's so, and like, after he saves Deidre.
Yeah.
It is the most awkward, out of place.
Oh, I know.
I'm like, well, God, she's weird too.
Yes. Yeah, you guys are great for each other.
Oh my God. Did they just get married? Like,
oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, the most distracting, disruptive character I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
I don't understand. And maybe something's going to happen in season 2 that changes
Maybe.
my mind on that. But I'm going to say I doubt it.
If he's going to be like Andor's stalker throughout the next few years,
he's everybody's stalker.
They don't need him because Deidre's going to be stalking him too. It's like, how many people you need after this guy, right? I mean, I don't. It's so far his character is just unnecessary, you know.
Yeah. Let me put it this way. I think this is why he's written like a serial killer.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. He's the guy sitting in his car outside your work when you're leaving. Yeah. Watching you.
Right.
It's like, whoa. That's what she should be thinking, man, I should go back inside and call the cops.
Right. Because they showed his dude. He's eating Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah. Yeah. No, just Crunch Berries. Anyway.
Oh,
go.
Crunch Berries. Yeah, my bad. Just berries. He's eating just berries.
Right.
And then he's stalking somebody.
Yeah. Got fired from his job. You know, this guy's a real winner.
Like, he goes to Ferrix to find Cassian.
Yeah.
Sees Deidre. Also doesn't care about Cassian.
Exactly.
What?
Yeah. Seems to be a problem here. Focus.
I mean, you don't need this guy. You just need guys that Cassian owes money to.
Oh, yeah, because they'll kill him too. Yeah.
They'll actually put you on the right track.
Yep.
And I couldn't. All right, I'm just going to get my gripes out of the way.
Sweet.
I couldn't believe that, like, when they put him, like, he's in that building over there.
Yeah.
They go out there, they look, and then they're like, okay, he must have escaped on the street that we were watching. I'm like, you didn't look down?
Exactly.
Isn't this, like, intelligence?
Yeah. Okay. I could overlook that one a little. Only because it's you know, it moves things along. I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
I get that. But it was just like, wow. You know, walk right by the grate.
Right.
And it's not obvious. I guess that was the worst part, right? It was like that grate. Like, wow, it's right there.
Yeah.
I mean, a kid playing hide and go seek would be, I bet they went down there.
Exactly.
So it just, yeah, it was weird. It was weird. Minor gripe. I guess Cassian's got to get out of there, right?
Yes, absolutely. That's
I am over here rooting for the Empire to win.
Exactly. So evil, Joe.
But going back to Cyril Karn, right?
Yeah.
Here's another gripe I have about this character.
Okay.
He's disrupting Deidre's flow. Deidre is like kicking ass, and then you bring in this guy.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
I felt like it disrupted the flow of the character for Deidre for me.
Right.
Like, she seems very, very formidable. And a couple times you've taken this formidable character and softened them by using this guy. Stop it.
Yeah, exactly. I you know, I think we've said it. I mean, this guy really isn't offering anything of use to the show, really. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's just, and no, we're not talking about the actor here. We're talking about the writing.
Yeah, the character. I mean,
This is not a person that needs to be attacked for their portrayal of a character that was written for them.
yeah, exactly. It's nothing like that.
No, it's just a character that we feel could be gone.
Yeah, for sure.
Be gone after their initial blunder.
Right.
Because we have not seen any reason whatsoever for this character to have been used. I mean, if this character is going to play a big role later on, okay, maybe you could have shown this little, downgrade to his mood. But it's just so much involvement and so much screen time for no payoff.
Right. Exactly. Now,
He might have more screen time than Luthen.
It's possible.
Definitely has more screen time than Mon Mothma.
Right. All right. So, speaking of characters that are gone, what about the impact of Marva in this episode?
Oh,
yeah.
so good.
So good. Because that right there, she's gone. She's passed. She even brings it up in her hollow vid or whatever. Her only hope is that for everyone else is to go on, and she basically incites a riot from the grave. Basically.
Not basically.
Literally
She incites a riot from the grave.
Literally incites a riot from the grave.
Yeah. There's no basically about it.
I just thought that was such a nice touch for her character.
Really liked the way they played it too, because it was almost like she was the crazy lady that no one wanted to listen to.
Yeah.
And then now that they're standing there with all these Imperials with riot shields and stuff, like penning them in.
Yep.
She's saying this and they're looking at it going, this lady's been right the whole time.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, that was fabulous.
I loved that about, or loved that for her character. It was just fitting.
You know what? Preceding that,
yeah.
What was Cassian's buddy's name there?
Brasso?
Yes. When he told Cassian her dying words to Cassian.
Oh yeah.
And that preceding that speech in the square, that was fabulous.
Yep.
I mean, and he did it word. It was written. He did it word for word. Not she said this.
Right.
She said you. He said it like it was coming from her mouth.
Right.
Tell him, fabulous.
Yep.
And not only that, but he's telling him that immediately after he's reading character. Man, I should have wrote some notes. I had all these names down. The character from the first arc, his manifesto.
Oh, Nemec.
Yes.
Nemec. Yes. That, oh my God, that too.
This sequence of events.
We talked about how much of an influence Nemec might have on Cassian here.
Yes.
And here it is. And I loved seeing that. I even loved Nemec's words in this.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely fabulous. And like I said, this sequence of events. And I actually like that we're talking about this backwards.
Yes.
Because of building that sequence to Cassian's ultimate, yeah, this is what I should be doing.
Yep. Yeah, we get to see all of the things that are, it's like, here's a straw, here's a straw, here's a straw. Up, broke the camel's back. Okay, Cassian's all in.
Right, and it is not like we saw him reading Nemec's manifesto 3 episodes ago.
Right.
No, we see that. We hear the dying words from his mom to him next, and then this speech that riles everyone up
Yes.
in a relatively short sequence. So I thought that was unbelievably well executed.
Yep. Totally agree.
Just could have benefited better without Cyril's intervention.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, not only that. So this funeral march,
Yeah.
even the pacing of that, I felt really added to the mood of everything going on.
Yes.
It's real slow.
Yep.
The Empire's starting to rev up.
Right.
Stop them, block them off.
Well, and why? Okay, I'm just going to throw this in. Sorry, can't help it. But why? Why is the Empire getting all bent out of shape?
Because they're early.
They're early, and we allowed for 30 of them. We made an exception for 40 because they pushed it. So
Okay, now there's too many.
now
Now
too
it's
many.
all of them.
Yeah, and that's a problem because there's more of them than there is of the Empire. Even though they have more might, numbers, that's a problem.
Yeah.
But yes.
But yeah, what I was saying with that, like
But,
the
yeah.
funeral march,
Yeah.
like when they picked up pace
Yeah.
and the music even got a little more like upbeat, it got into like a war march.
It added
Like-
to the tension for sure.
Yeah. It got into like, it really reminded me of like watching a Civil War movie and that, that increased war march, right?
Yep.
Flutes and the drums, and it felt like they were going to battle.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I have a feeling that a lot of the people felt like this could end up turning into something, which it did. So
Yeah, I mean, they had everything backfire on them here.
yes.
The kid, right?
Yeah. With the bomb.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm assuming that was his dad that...
Right. I mean, you don't have to know who all that was necessarily, but you understood what was going on there. Yeah.
Well, I have a feeling that kid's going to play more of a role.
Well, see, and that right there is something that I wanted to mention is like what you have is at the end there is you have a handful of the biggest antagonists or protagonists, sorry, aside from Cassian, heading off to go into hiding to be brought back later. That's for sure in my mind. That's and these are people who have been pushed to their limit, and now they are going to be a thorn in the Empire's side. So
What's the fate for Ferrix here?
I'm going to say more occupation or the population of Ferrix is hauled off to get a job get a job where Cassian just quit.
Just quit.
Yeah, where he escaped and swam away. They could all get a job there.
That's true.
That's what I'm thinking might happen for Ferrix. Anyone who did not get away right then and there And it could be a problem for them.
Yeah, even Ferrix itself could become a sort of prison colony.
True. It probably wouldn't take much for the Empire to set up shop there.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the work that's going on Ferrix right now, this what looks like mining operation,
Recycling, yeah,
if that's already serving the Empire war machine,
right.
So now it's just, instead of like you're going to get paid to go do this, you're just going to go do this.
Yep.
And you're going to eat from a tube in the wall.
Exactly.
If you do a good job, we'll give you flavor.
Flavor, yeah. It's only if your team wins.
Yeah. No, I thought, all this was fabulous build.
Yeah.
It was pretty, and the fact that everyone on Ferrix was there to kill Cassian.
Exactly.
Or either kill or capture Cassian.
Right. Isn't it funny? The bad guys wanted him alive. That's
right.
It's just,
the good guys wanted him dead.
Yes. Yeah. Hilarious.
All right. Since we mentioned the good guys wanting him dead.
Uh-huh.
Let's go ahead and get to that.
Okay.
It's the end, right? It's the end, but we don't really follow.
Right. Yeah.
We have no rules here.
Chronology? Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, hell with that. I grew up watching Star Wars. We didn't watch shit in order.
That's right. Absolutely right.
Oh, that's clippable right there.
Yes, it is.
The end with Luthen.
Yeah.
How do you like Cassian's play?
Risky, I will say that, because
yeah,
Luthen could just say, you know what? Nah, you're a loose end. Bye. Yeah.
I think, but at the same time, I think Cassian knew what he was doing.
Sure.
He saw how much value Luthen saw in him in the beginning. And I thought the play to say, look, there's my weapon. I'm not out to get you. I'm not out to talk about you. I'm giving you the chance to kill me right now. I haven't talked about you yet. I'm standing here in front of you now. I'm coming to you voluntarily and giving you the option to kill me. I think that play right there showed how committed to this cause he is now. Take me on. Like,
yes, I will say, yes, I agree. What we got to see that not necessarily Cassian got to see was Luthen getting to see Marva's speech. So he knows where this is coming from in Cassian. You know
Correct.
what I'm saying? But Cassian doesn't really know that. That's the one place where I think his play's a little shaky.
I disagree. I think his play alone was good enough. Like, I'm willing to lay my life down for this cause. Look, I'm so willing to do it. I'm willing to do it right here, right now. This is the cause I'm committed to. You're either going to take me on or I'm going to die.
Right. Which, okay. I mean, ultimate sacrifice. Okay. Got it. For me, I don't know.
Either that or that blaster's not loaded. And
yeah, exactly.
if he pulls the trigger, Cassian's going to kick the crap out of him.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it works. It worked. I enjoyed that as an ending, so I really don't have complaints. It's just an observation I was kind of making, that in my opinion, the thing that really could have turned Luthen into really understanding where Cassian was coming from is Marva's speech. You know, like that's
Yeah.
his background for this. I get it. I know where the kid's coming from. Yeah, we can use them. So
Another thing too, like I had a little bit of trouble discerning how Luthen was feeling during all that.
yeah.
During Marva's speech, watching the riot
Oh,
come to fruition. Like, is it a little different for him being on the ground watching it?
oh, good point. I didn't think about that.
Like, he's watching people like, okay, he made the comment, we need this kind of thing right here. We need them to tighten down.
Yes,
We need to have people suffering in order to rally people to our cause.
right. Actually,
Um,
seeing people bleed, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, being on the ground, watching it happen. The exact thing you were aiming for 3 or 4 episodes ago.
Yep, there you
Is
go.
literally happening on the ground in front of you.
Right.
I felt like he was feeling a little bit of pain from that.
It's a good point. I like that.
I think you might see a little bit of an adjustment to the approach. A little bit, because I don't think he's going to feel that he's wrong for his decision, but he might be a little more apathetic to where Mom Mothma was standing.
Right.
And maybe this is a move that'll see a little more cooperation when dealing with her.
Okay. What goes right along with what you're saying, though, is that whole scene that they had at the ISB where they talked about the attack that Luthen and Saw were planning and talking about, wanting Saw to get in on, how it was just utterly wiped out. That whole thing was repelled easily.
Right.
So that kind of goes right along with what you're saying, you know. He knew that was going to be a sacrifice, you know, as he put it or whatever. And now getting to see this on a smaller scale might make him understand just what it's really, you know, like on a larger scale like that. You know, any survivors? Not today, you know, that.
Right. Yeah. I do think it's funny, like right when he says this was to, you know, calm the Emperor on,
Oh, yeah.
and then meanwhile, Ferrix is about to happen.
Right. But that right there just goes right along with Nemec's manifesto. You know,
Right.
all these little skirmishes, all these little battles are going to culminate into, what did he say, overflowing the banks of the Empire's hold or something?
Yes.
Yeah. That's very astute for how young that guy was, you know. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, and even the talk of like it only takes one.
Right.
Like the value of the individual
Yes.
and their contribution to the fight. Like you like even from that, like even with the way Cassian like threw it down, it seemed dismissive. But I don't think it was dismissive. I think he was steeling himself, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
he's emboldened right now, and then he hears the words from his friend, and then he hears, or did he hear from his friend? No, it was after that. So
Yeah, it was after, yeah. But yeah, totally.
all right, Mon Mothma.
Ah, yes. Almost forgot about that.
I didn't.
Yeah, good.
I didn't because she totally set her husband up.
Yes. Absolutely.
Uh,
I think that is all intentional, on purpose, and she is all in on the cause. This marriage is a sham anyway, so let's
apparently.
yeah.
Apparently. So take the thing I said a few weeks ago about her and her family
Right.
and throw that out because she's using her husband as a scapegoat this week and selling her daughter. So
Yep. Exactly.
like damn,
That's
I was
exactly it.
wrong.
But hey.
Well, one, she obviously knew. Yeah, her cabbie there,
Oh yeah.
ISB.
Yeah, they alluded to that though
They alluded
before. Yeah.
to it. Yeah, she's been getting new drivers.
Yeah, new drivers. Yeah. It's kind of can't trust them. Yeah.
But she covered up for maybe this is where that money went, this missing money.
Right.
It was very, very well done.
Yeah. What's
even better is that the driver took it hook, line, and sinker.
Oh yeah, totally. But what was nice about it was Perrin puts up this defense, that it's almost like, how do you defend against something like that? To where an accusation like that. You know what I mean? Because no matter what you say in defense of that, you're going to sound like you're just making excuses.
Right.
She laid it out there in the conversation. This has clearly been a problem in the past. It clearly has because, he says it's not happening anymore kind of thing. So,
right.
Yeah. Very well done. It's funny. The whole thing with her daughter.
Sorry.
She's
I did it for one, and there was going to be a secondly.
Oh.
With her play there.
Yeah.
Secondly, that softened him up to be amenable to dealing with this other guy with this proposal.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
So now he's not going to fight her on anything she proposes because she's angry about this. And he obviously, wasn't doing it.
Right.
Unless he is, and it's really great cover.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's going to be amenable to whatever she says after that argument. And she's misdirecting the cabbie. I almost completely skipped over my second point.
Yeah. I think the latter is the most important thing, though.
Right, because that's how she's going to fix her funds.
Right. That's the part that she wants the ISB to hear. So,
all right.
Yeah,
yep.
Where are we at?
Who knows?
The end? The end? The end.
The end.
Right.
The epilogue, right?
Right. I think we were all under the impression that this part that Cassian was working on in prison had to be something, right?
Yeah, they're making so many of them.
Exactly. So
I think we all knew deep down what they were making.
yeah, it just makes sense.
So, I mean, I guess we still don't know what they're making.
Well, it was the connector piece for those panels.
Is that what it was, the connector piece?
Yeah, those spider droids were like plopping it into the joints between those panels.
Okay, I didn't know if it was some kind of like, if it was just a connection point or if it was some sort of like diffuser or...
Oh, no, I'm pretty sure that was the piece connecting all those panels together to make up the big dish for the planet killer weapon.
Oh. Guess they just can't use bolts.
Right.
Star Wars. Bolts are out of the question.
That's right.
And it canonizes Lego, right? Like,
Oh, I guess.
I'm talking shit now.
Okay.
But, yeah, I mean, I think we all knew they were making pieces for the Death Star. Like, just, why wouldn't they be? To build something that massive.
Right.
Everything's going towards it. And even in the new canon in the novels, we're hearing what an investment this was.
Yes.
Seeing it visually puts it in perspective.
Yeah, it puts it into perspective, and something, you got to think about, right? All this, like you said, in perspective. The cheapest kind of labor you can get for working on a project of that mass scale would be either slave or imprisoned labor. So,
Well, I mean, I think they're one and the same.
I would agree. I mean, yes, but
And I don't really want to go down this road, but
unjustly imprisoned labor.
yes,
Put it that way.
unjustly imprisoned would be the way to add that. To
Yes. So,
But I was gonna say, like, it's just it's out there, even in modern society, right? Like,
sure.
this kind of forced labor is verboten, right? Like, it's forbidden
Yeah.
unless incarcerated.
Right.
So, incarcerate people, get free labor.
Right.
If you're trying to build something like a planet destroyer and you need labor, hey, you looked weird. You're going to jail.
Yeah, you're in the wrong place, wrong time. Yep, jail.
And this also shows why they were redirecting people. Like, oh, you get free. Yeah, but you're just going to this other thing.
Oh, right. Yeah, once you're in, you're always in.
We got to let people see you got hope, and then we're sending you over here.
Exactly.
At the
Yes.
same time, I don't know how they expected that to work. Like, that dude's not going to go, dude, I was just over here. I was freed, and now I'm here.
Right.
Like, that dude's not going to say that.
It's a good point.
Weird.
Yeah. But
Like, and the cover up for that was, and I will say this was kind of a soft story point. The cover up for that was like, they made a mistake. Like, they left him here.
right.
Why would that be any different if you send him somewhere else? Like,
Well,
he's not going to say that over there.
Except here's the thing. The place that you go to after this, everybody's been to one place first already. So everybody there knows, oh, now there is no hope.
And you probably have a more direct threat than
Yeah,
what you got.
exactly.
Okay. That makes sense. It's Spice Mine's a Kessel type oppression.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, that makes more sense. Like, you're literally walking around with your chains.
Yeah,
as opposed to your presumed change, which is the floor.
Right.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Not so soft.
But, okay, I have one little thing I wanted to bring up about the Death Star thing.
Okay.
So, in Rogue One, we get to see them attaching this dish for the giant laser, right? So it all makes sense there. But I'm just thinking, my God, it takes them 5 years just to build that part of the Death Star. I mean, it looked like everything else was done, you know? I'm thinking maybe at this point, you're building the dish and all that and getting it all put together, as well as you've got like a little chunk here and there, kind of like the Andor Death Star where it's not finished, but you know, a little further along, you know.
I think just to explain that, I think maybe your kyber crystal core is your issue.
Oh, well, you know what? I would actually kind of love to see that be part of season 2. Now that you mention it,
I think you're gonna.
because all of this, okay, when you really start thinking about this, Cassian was putting parts together to help build the machine that ultimately kills him.
Right.
And if the kyber
Very
crystal,
poetic.
yeah, if the kyber crystal is part of season 2 and he's having to try and chase down a kyber crystal, maybe try and thwart the Empire from getting it and this and that, also fighting against his own demise there, you know?
Yeah, I think the kyber is going to be the piece that wisens people up to, you know, wisens
they're doing
rebellion up to they're doing something big.
Yes.
This other stuff, you could be building anything.
Right. It's just machinery.
It's a big galaxy.
Yep.
It's just machinery. It's just structural pieces. They could be building more Star Destroyers. They could be building more of this. The kyber is going to be the red flag.
Yeah.
That's where they're going to become wise to they're doing something big. They're doing something that's going to really change the balance of power.
Right. Especially when they find out we need a kyber crystal, 6 foot long or something. Yeah.
And I don't think it stops there. I mean, you're seeing this. We see it even on Jeddah.
Yeah. They're collecting
kyber
all the
crystal
kyber.
farming.
Yep.
I think there's going to be way more to this system than just like. So, yeah, it makes sense that they could hide it when they're just doing pieces like you saw in Cassian's prison.
Yeah, well, exactly. Everything's compartmentalized, you know?
Yeah, especially if it's stuff that would be common.
Yes.
I'm assuming a piece like that's common for a lot of stuff.
Sure.
No one thinks about it.
Really? Who knows what it's going to be for, you know? I mean...
Right.
But yeah.
So, you know, no one's going to think twice when you're building hyperdrive components.
Right.
But when you're shoveling out kyber crystals, well, that's a little weird.
Yeah, exactly. I love it.
Yeah, it's like, you know, building tanks versus farming, you know, mining uranium.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah.
one of these things is not like the other.
Yes, exactly. Huh. Wonder what they're going to do with this. Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, all right. Anything before I say that? Have we missed anything?
I don't think so. I think we're
Pretty well covered.
pretty well covered. Yeah.
All right. So, well, if you have anything to add, there was a lot to unpack there.
Yeah. Right.
So, if you have anything to add, you can always email us. show@thewarsandmore.com. Truly the best way to get a hold of us. But we're also on social media at The Wars and More on Twitter, facebook.com/thewarsandmore. You can find all that and all the ways to find the show over at thewarsandmore.com. I'll ask you one more time. Any final thoughts this week, Doug?
No, I think we about covered it.
All right. We will talk next week.